Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we got a new motherboard, and this is gonna be an ASUS ROG Strix B450F Gaming 2. So in front of us, completely dead. There's no response to the power button, no standby lights, nothing. You can see straight away that thing is filthy. There's heavy contamination around the VRM area. And I'm not sure if we're looking at dust buildup, thermal paste splatter, or actual liquid damage. So before we even start measuring anything, we need to figure out what we're dealing with it here. So first thing, visual inspection. And yeah, this is pretty bad. There's significant buildup right here across the VRM MOSFETs and inductor area. So I want to get a closer look before I touch anything. I guess what we need to do is to remove the heatsinks and to see closely what is this. Try to clean it. Let's do it. This is definitely a good candidate for ultrasonic cleaning. So this is how looks the motherboard, which had no care. After removing the heatsinks, I could see that all the surrounding areas were heavily covered in dust and residue. At first glance, I suspected this might be corrosion, possibly pointing to liquid damage on the motherboard. However, once I started cleaning, it turned out to wipe off very easily with isopropyl alcohol, so the good news is, this is simply dirt buildup, nothing more serious than that. Okay, so I try to clean it as much as I can within the isopropyl alcohol, and so it looks now better. So we can see all the VRM area here. What I also think, it's weird that there is a lot of dirt under the VRM area. Let's try to remove the heatsink from the PCH. For resistance measurements and diagnostics, I've got two tools on the bench today. This is my Unity multimeter, which is always here, and this FNIRSI LCR ST2 Intelligent Tweezers. FNIRSI sent this over to me to try a few days back, and I've been running it on actual job, so you'll see it in action for me today, and I'll give you my honest take as we go. Alright, so dead board, clean up, let's find the fault. The first we inspect usually is the super input-output chip area, and right here in the area I already see a problem. This is a knocked off component right here, as you see, and so I guess it could be a small cap, like this one, right here. This is a very small package. I guess this is a 201 or something like that. If it's a resistor, so this could be a culprit of the power on sequence of the motherboard. Okay, so I looked at the board view, and it looks like this is a cap, this is a capacitor. I don't have a board view for this exact model of the motherboard, but it has a different revision. And this is a B450F Gaming 2, and I have B450F Gaming 1, the same revision actually, it's 1.01, but the different board versions. We can see here that this cap looks like this cap, so this is a 2-on-1 package, very small, and so this is the ground plane, as well as this ground plane, And this plane goes to this resistors over here. And this seems to be a 3 volts line. So you can see that there's a large traces going here, right? So who knows about this cap? I'm not sure that this could be a culprit, but this cap, we need to measure if this cap is good. It definitely has a damage, but we definitely will replace it. But we need to check if it's fulfilling its function or not. And this is a VPP in cap, and it goes to pin number 3 here. Those are 2 filtering caps. I'm not sure if they can stop or prevent the board from powering on, but we need to check. So first stop on any dead board is resistance to ground on the main power rails. Before I connect anything to the power supply, I want to know if there's a short. If something got cooked by that liquid ingress, well, we will likely see it here. So 3.3 volts, and we have kilo ohms here. Let's measure 5 volts and 2 kilo ohms at 12 volts. It's also in kilo ohms range, 5 VSB, 5 standby rail, 5 volt standby rail. And we have 9.3 kilo ohms, which is nice. Minus 12, no short. And 12 volt CPU. So mega ohms here, and the 12 volts to V core. And we have mega ohms here to SOC lines, mega ohms as well to ground. Guess we have something in ohms range, no, kilo ohms here, and mega ohms here. And that's it for the main power lines. Okay, let's go back to the damaged capacitor in the SAO area. So we'll measure the resistance of that cap just to be sure that it's not shorted. So we go to the LCR and we have a resistance mode. It measures the capacitance as well. So let's try to measure what we have here. This cap is almost damaged. And what do we have here? And we have 1 kilo ohm resistance, almost 1 kilo ohms, 989 ohms, and 12 microfarads or 13 microfarads of capacitance. So anyway, the cap is not shorted, and I guess we need to replace this cap and also to solder a new cap over here. And then we'll try to power it on. Let's do it. Okay, let's measure the resistance of that cap. Let's measure this. So we have 1.1 nanofarads and around 10 mega ohms. So this cap is actually still works. Okay, so before powering on, I would like to check if we have a working battery. So for that thing, I'm using these LCR intelligent tweezers, and it's quite handy actually for that. So you can choose the voltage. It actually can measure from 30 to minus 30 volts. So let's see what we have here. And here we have a dead battery, right? So let's check another one. I have a couple of here. So this is bad as well. Let's do this one. Here you go. There's 3.2 volts. This is nice here. So let's power it on. Okay, for powering on, we will be using Ryzen 3 Pro 4350G AM4 CPU and DDR4. Now, I need to show the power consumption. Let's power on. Let's also plug in the power button. Let's see if we have any reaction. And we do. So we have 1.5 amps. Changing 1.8, 1.5 again. And so I see there's debug lights. Okay. CPU, DRAM CPU, VGA, go back to the DRAM. Huh. Is this because of the VGA is absent? Oh no, it's booting. Actually, it shows me a boot. And we have 2.2 amps. And the CPU is getting hot. So let's plug in the HDMI cable. Okay, so let's HDMI connect that. Fan is here. So we'll see the pause screen over here. Here the current consumption. Pressing the power button. Trying to avoid the fat heatsink moving, sliding to the motherboard. And do we have a pause screen? And yes, we do. So the problem wasn't that caps. That's a very good news. Okay. FNIRSI sent me those tweezers to try out. I'll give you my honest take while I'm actually using them here. So this is the LCR ST2. The thing I keep reaching for at its convenience, grabbing SMD caps and resistors directly without swapping probes in my multimeter every time on a board like this. It adds up fast. It also measures ESR, which my UT61E can't do at all, so I can... a cap can look fine on capacitance and still be failing. ESR is what actually tells you, and it measures multiple frequencies up to 100 kHz. So you are seeing how the component behaves closer to real operating conditions. So I've also been using it for cell batteries. Just grab the cell, instant voltage, much faster than probing with the multimeter. One thing I'd actually want is USB data output to pull reading directly into the computer. Right now, I have to film the display separately for a repair and content workflow. That would be genuinely useful. Would I buy it for board level work? Yeah, it doesn't replace my multimeter, it just removes a lot of small friction. So to summarize, what we have here, a customer is an ASUS Strix B450F Gaming 2, completely dead, no post. Board was heavily contaminated, so first step was a proper clean. Under the microscope, we found two physically damaged capacitors near the SIO. One was not completely off the board, the other was damaged. Pulled the values from board views, soldering two new caps, board pots, job done. Now, why did two small caps kill the board completely? Those capacitors are part of the power-on delay circuit for the SIO. The super input-output chip coordinates the power-on sequence. It needs a properly timed signal to do that. Without those caps, that timing is gone, and the board never gets the green light to start up, so no pause, nothing. So it's easy to dismiss a missing passive as minor, but location matters. The wrong missing cap at the wrong place stopped everything. If you found this useful, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel, and I post board repair regularly. See you in the next one.